today we won't be able to use online IDE. It's not going to be possible if you are working with GitHub. I don't think some of the online IDE has. Okay. Shehu has raised his own concern. He said he doesn't fully get the CSS. The styling is not applying to his code. So that's another issue we have to take note of. I'll be screenshotting these issues so that we will know how to tackle them. So the first one is seeing how we can use GitHub to copy whatever code we are seeing. Okay, the screen was not clear and I've not been able to set up the VS Code on my PC. Good. So we'll be setting up VS Code also today. So I think we've listed out 3 stuffs now, isn't it? Is it 3 or 4? It's 3 now. I can see Ejiro's note taker is here. So the question is, where is Ejiro in this meeting? Is Ejiro in this meeting? No. Who else? Oni, do you have any question or concern? So you drop it in the chat box so that I can follow up from there. Alright, so these are all the concerns we have. So I'm trying to set up my PC so that we can get started. But just for a quick start, I want somebody who is so confident in what I've taught so far to do something for me. Yes, I see that, Mary. You said the class has been wonderful, but I'm not getting the procedure of the class. It seems different from what I learned in course. Okay, all right. We'll also talk about that. So if you are so confident in how far I have taught and you feel you can share your screen today and walk us through step by step of installation of VS Code, then the extensions I talked about, you can also walk us through the extension. I want you to raise your hands, then share your screen. I would really appreciate that. So I think, Joshua, are you in a good position to do that for us? Let me look at the chat box. Uh, not gotten a response from Joshua yet. Okay. Only I've seen your question, and yeah, how you could complete the last part of the receipts. All right, we'll also talk about that. That's another thing to talk about. So, who can walk us through week 1 of the class? That's installation of VS Code. Who can do that? Okay, so Shehu said, I am connected. Shehu said, hold on, sorry guys. Said I'm connected to my phone. Let me set up my system and try my best. All right, Shehu, I would appreciate that. Let me mute and wait for you to do. So I would mute for you, Shehu. Once you set up on your PC, you can now get started. I think I want to see another person walking us through the installation of VS Code today and how to add the necessary extension. So Shehu, I appreciate your boldness and let's see how you put that to work. Okay, Joshua has brought out his questions. He said we are not done with CSS, especially flexbox and grid. Also, the styling of the receipt we are working on. Yes, we would also talk about that and also work on that also. So that's another thing we have to do. So let's round up all of these issues at once. So whoever can share his screen first and teach us, Shehu or Joshua, one of us, the installation of Visual Studio Code and adding of the extensions. I would appreciate that. So I'll be muting my mic and waiting for this, any one of you to take that up. So let's walk through this till the second facilitator comes in and I introduce the facilitator. Then let him know the status of how far we've gone and where he's going to continue from. All right. So Joshua just let me know he's having a little power issues, but he will be connecting to his PC shortly. So let's still wait on Sheung. Then, if in a space of 10 minutes, I've not gotten somebody to actually work on this, then I will now be sharing my screen and putting all of us through that. All right, is that okay with us? So while others come in and I'm not being able to welcome them and they kind of drop on the chat box that what is going on, we could quickly give them updates on what's going on and why my mic is muted. Alright, so thank you guys, and the 10 minutes countdown is going to start.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening. Sheung, I guess that's you, right?
Yes, sir.
Alright, so you can now proceed. And thank you for that.
Thank you. So I'll be sharing the screen. Enter your screen. Okay. All right, sir. Now to share the to install the stop that. To install the VS Code, sir. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes,
Oh,
we
the,
can see
the
your
network has
screen.
kicked me out again. Let me send the face my own for here. Hello, can we see my screen, please?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can see your screen, Sheung.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Now to after installing the VS Code, maybe from install or the link downloaded. Now we click on these extensions. If I'm right, sir. So we can search anyone we want to install, and the one we use for this as suggested by the facilitator is the HTML snippet, live server, pre-tier. So by clicking on this extension here, then we can search for example, let's say live server. Live server. So it's bringing the one we want to install. We click now. This one I've installed. This one I think that's why it's showing installed or disabled. So we can install our extension to our VS Code. using this extension box here where my cursor is. Then we search. Then you can install the extension here. I think that is how to install the extension on the VS Code. I think that's your question, sir.
Sorry, I have a question. Good
Okay.
afternoon. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, you. So that's how to actually install extensions into VS Code. But the first step is downloading Visual Studio Code. All you just have to do is, if you're on your Windows, you're using a Windows PC, go to your Microsoft Store, then on the search bar, you click on, you type in Visual Studio Code. That's what you do. Then Prince and Mary, your hands are up. Uh, I'll be attending to that shortly. All right, so let me just finish up the steps I'm working out. Then I would now give you guys the audience. So for now, the first step is you'd type on the search bar and say you type in Visual Studio Code, and you're going to see it exactly being displayed to you, which is Visual Studio Code. It looks exactly like the icon you were seeing on share screen. Then you download. So now for just beginner HTML and CSS and JavaScript, you need just four basic extensions. You get, although there are other kinds of extensions you could install. We have one we call Live Server. And what's the function of the Live Server? The Live Server literally does this for you. It helps you auto reload your HTML, your CSS, and your JavaScript on the browser. So that's what it literally does. So any changes you make to your code, it automatically reloads it on your browser for you. So that's one step you have to actually take note of. So what's the other tag you could also install? We have one they call auto rename tag. Auto rename tag is another kind of extension you could use. And how about now? Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So about indentations or how the next element should come at the bottom or so. So that's what Prettier actually does. So those are just some of the extensions that we did use in our first week of the tech boot camp. So those are the extensions I introduced everyone to. So after Prince and Mary has given us Okay, Mary said she has missed some of the information I was passing through. So I would mute my mic so that Mary would probably articulate all the issues she has, and I'll see how I can walk her through that.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon, Mary.
Yeah, can I speak now? I don't know if you can hear me. Please, can I speak?
Hey, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you all this while you were talking. I don't know if it was my network. So this is what you're going to do for me again. You're going to um, you're going to start all over again with the question. So this time around, I'll be paying good attention, even if my network is not. I'll try to strain my ear and hear you well. So I'll mute my mic again so that you could come along with the questions.
Okay, my question is, okay, the thing is, I already installed the VS Code on my PC. I've actually taken a class before, so I installed it, and then the extensions. I have two extensions installed, the live server and the pretty code for Matter. Those are the two I have. So my question is there other one that I should add to them? Or these two is enough for me to start the code? Because I've actually used this VS Code to, to have a code. I've done a code on it. But when you were taking your own class, it was okay, but at some point I I was lost because it was quite different from what I've learned. Because when our facilitator took us, we were just taking it bit by bit. So when I was taking yours, maybe you thought, like, I don't really understand. It was kind of confusing. Aside from the first class I participated in the practical, the rest of the practical I've not been participating. I tried to do it. I tried to go back to the video as well. I couldn't understand the touch, like the video isn't clear for me to see your screen and all that you've been doing. And the main question is, do I need to install other extensions on the VS Code? That's all, sir. I don't know if you can hear me.
All right, I hear everything you said, Mary. So the first one is the first one is the two extensions you have. It's enough. The second thing there is, all right. We also talk about the class. So what we would talk about as regard what you just said, so is this the second class was actually on. I think the first class was on contact card. Did you participate in the contact card? Just quickly unmute so that you could let me know.
Yes, I did, but not fully. We did that for almost a week. So the following week, I couldn't catch up.
Right. So at some point in the contact card, were you actually were you actually lost at some point while we were talking about the contact card?
Yes, yes.
Okay, Oni just corrected me now. The first class was on Sweet Bites. I'm sorry for that. First class was Sweet Bites, and that's true. So the second class was contact card. So let's now do it this way. The HTML itself, where did you see us do something that looks like magic? So let me know where you saw us do something that looks completely off the hook or something you don't understand. So you just let me know that now, so I would know how to properly guide you.
Okay, that would be after the write up, the picture sizing. Then the place I find it's very difficult for me to continue is when we're trying to make it at the center, adding of font, getting
Alright,
font
Mary,
from
you
another.
didn't. I didn't. Okay, so for the beginners class, we didn't actually talk about anything that has to do with HTML forms. Which anything that has to do with HTML forms would be why you guys proceed in the class. That's where we'll get to talk about HTML forms. But for now, I won't be talking about HTML forms in detail. Although we would also talk about that, but it won't be that advanced. So we didn't do HTML form. What we mostly did was the p tag, the h tag, the div, um, the span, the bold. That was most of the things we talked about in our HTML class. Then we also talked about inline styling, how to style our HTML document itself without needing to link with an external file. We talked about that. So this is what we're going to do to make sure everybody properly gets the necessary information. This is what we're going to do. I will teach us how to use GitHub. Then the codes I've written so far, everybody will be able to lay their hands on it. Then when you lay your hands on it, those code that looks like how would I say confusing, we can now screenshot it on the group chat, we paste it there, then we can discuss it from there. Remember, the bootcamp is kind of, we are trying to do a lot in 6 weeks or so. So we won't touch everything in depth, like completely. But whatever part I set you on would help you to be able to explore other parts. I hope you get my point, Mary. So with that being said, I'll try as much as possible to teach you guys how to get those codes I wrote. Then those parts you really didn't get, you just snap or screenshot and send to the group chat. Trust me, some of your fellow bootcamp mates and me myself will be there to walk you through properly. Is that clear, Mary? Then let's now have Okon's question.
Okay. My question is that are we doing revision today? Because I don't understand today's class. Hello, can you hear me?
All right, let me have the question again, Okon. You
Hello.
said something just now. You said,
Okay, I'm asking if we
yeah,
are
I can
doing
hear you,
revision
Okon.
today.
You said something just now.
I'm asking if
No,
we are doing revision
we
today.
aren't. We aren't doing revision today. What we were supposed to do today was introduction to JavaScript, then do some other stuff. But I
Okay.
there's I'm meant to introduce you guys to a new facilitator, which I talked about, but you weren't actually in the meeting. So that's what I was supposed to do. But before I do that, I want to make sure every part or sections we've had that you guys don't understand, I want to make sure I clear that out. And also any concerns, because I can see a lot of concerns here. You get, so that's one thing there. I want to make sure every of those concerns I clear them out, and
Okay.
that's all.
Okay.
Prince for now. Then
All right. So another
Fame
thing
was
is that
saying
okay
something
now,
about
meaning
was it
you are
Oni?
not
Oni
going to
said I
carry us.
think she was referring to Sorry, Prince, you were saying something.
Asking if you are not going to carry us along again on the HTML and CSS and the likes. Hello,
Sorry, I didn't get your question properly, Prince. Sorry for that. Let me have it again. Say
hello,
the
can
if
you hear
we're
me?
not going to do
Okay,
what?
I'm asking if you are not the one to carry us along on the HTML and the CSS.
Prince, how about you type your question
Okay.
on the chat box? I'm sorry, I think it's my network that is making me unable to hear
All
you.
right, now let me do that.
So, Prince, I'm yet to see your question on the chat box. Is it my network again? Because I'm yet to see your question on the chat box. If you can hear me, let me have the question. Then I'll be switching to my laptop shortly, so that we can all follow through from there. No, of course, I'll be there to follow you guys up and teach you also. You get, but the fact is, you know, we actually made you guys understand that there will be three facilitators. I think the day I welcomed you all to the class, I spoke. Yes, Moses, we're about to get on with the GitHub. So you just hold on a second while I think Prince does not have any other question. Then maybe also let's get to the GitHub part so that I would actually see those codes that were actually looking a little bit weird for Mary, so that we'll touch that, and we would not be on the same tab. So everybody should grab their Visual Studio Code. That's the first thing I want you guys to be doing right now. Grab onto your Visual Studio Code, and if you are using any other IDE for now, during the introduction of the class. Yeah, I give you a response just now. Joshua, you didn't hear me well. I said during the introduction of the class, which was the week one, I made you guys understand that there will be three facilitators. But that doesn't mean I would stop teaching you guys. Are you getting me? I would be there to, sometimes I will be there, sometimes I won't be there. The other facilitators will come in. Week two of the class, just that some of the facilitators will do some of the teachings and I'll just be there to assist. I hope that's clear, Joshua. Yeah, I'm currently working on that, Uni. In a while now, the network that is actually disturbing, which I'm switching it right now. So that's why I've not been able to share my screen. So everybody should grab onto their Visual Studio Code for GitHub pull requests. So that's the name of the extension. Everybody should go there now and search for it. Can you guys hear me now? How about now? Is the voice still breaking? Can you guys hear me now? So the name of the extension is, yes, I just typed it in. Look at it there. It's GitHub pull requests. I've typed it in again. Oh, I think I'll have to disconnect and join again. That's what I would have to do. How about now, guys? Can you guys hear me now? If you can hear me, let me know in the chat box. I've just switched my network, and I think this should be okay. My voice shouldn't be cracking again. So, like I was saying, what we are meant to download is called. Yeah, that's good. What we are meant to download is GitHub pull request. So I'm assuming we've all downloaded that, isn't it? Have we all downloaded that? So once you've downloaded that, let me now. Okay, that's good. So let me just quickly brief you guys about GitHub, and after that, you would now go straight to actions. Because if you don't know about GitHub, then that extension you downloaded um, is not useful. Let me just put it that way. If you don't know about GitHub in full details, so allow me to tell you guys about GitHub. Then we can now continue. So a brief history on GitHub. So there's what we call version control in programming. What do we call version control? I don't know if you've for those using Android, when you're using a particular app, they'll say your app needs to be updated, that there's a new version on Play Store. Then for those using iOS, they will tell you you need to update the version of your app. That's good. So when you're writing codes or when you are building a software, there is how we do versioning in software. As you have the major, we have the minor, and we have the bug. Those are, I don't know if you've been to Play Store and you could try it out now. Just for those using OP, Kuda, or any of those bank app. For those that are not in Nigeria, also you could type out any bank app, and you would see something like the recent version and what was fixed in the version. For the versions that has to do with fixing bugs, you would see something that they write minor bug fix, and they will list out those bug fixes, like those bugs they actually worked on. So that's just what you will see there. So we use Git to do version control. Then we also have what we call repository. Before, let's assume we didn't have Git or so, you would have only one option: push the whole folder of your code to the cloud. That's if you are using Google Cloud or you are using iCloud. But I don't know. Those should be for uploading of not just code alone, your pictures, your documents, lots of stuff. So we need something that was peculiar to just programming. Get. So most of your projects you will be building, you will need an online based repository to store those projects. Yeah, you could use GitHub. Now, let's now talk about you adding more features to that project. You would notice that what you are doing is you are changing the versions. So GitHub uses Git as a version control system to track changes you've made to your code. You will get to see this very soon. We'll be looking at that as we progress in the class. Maybe week 4, week 5, you will see more of that. Then GitHub is also a home to many open resource projects. Once you think about any project you want to work on, just type the name of the project, just a short. Like if you want to build a calendar app, now you could type calendar app and add GitHub close to it on your Google search, and you will see there are lots of open resource projects. Are you getting open source projects on building a calendar app on whatever language of your choice? Then from there you could gain quality experience to build yours. So that's one essence of this stuff. So GitHub is a web-based platform for version control and also a software for collaboration. Exactly, that's one point I also have to make note of. Collaborations. So when you want to do when you are building a software now or a project, 3 or 4 people can work on it, and every single commit you make Every single changes you make to the real code base, everyone can see it and know you were the one that make those changes. And they can also be access levels, such that before the changes you made is being added to the main branch of the repo, um the person has to see it first, test it out, then see that it's working well to fix whatever you've talked about that is going to fix before they incorporate it into the main branch. Now in GitHub, there's what we call branches. In GitHub, that's what makes it one of a very good collaboration software itself. So there's what we call branches. You could A project could have a main branch, which, when you are creating a new project, is always given a main branch by default. You could have a main branch, then that's where all your code could be. Then you could, if it's an industry now, we used to have production environment, then we used to have what we call deployment environment. We also have a testing branch. So we have tests, production, and deployment. So those are how the branches are being made. So all the codes are on all branch, but there are minor changes on each of the branch. The final branch is the deployment branch. That is what gets hosted, that everybody can view. If it's a website, that's actually what get hosted. I hope you guys can still hear me. Let me see if there's any question. Yes. Um, Anim Life said, I'm confused. Anim Life, can I have your question? Meanwhile, Joshua, thank you for the response. Yeah, the most popular version control system is Git. It actually helps you manage your project locally and optionally sync it to platforms like GitHub, yeah, which is the most common of them all. So, Anim Life, let me have your question. What part did you get confused before I continue? All right. So, Mary said I was not hearing you initially, sir. So, what part did you not hear? And Anim Life also asked, what are we to do with GitHub? So, we are not meant to download it. What we did was an extension we downloaded on GitHub, and the essence of the extension is just to help us out in properly integrating GitHub into our Visual Studio Code environment, which is our IDE. Now, the essence that what actually made us touch GitHub today was the fact that the codes I wrote were not something I could actually snap, as they are now quite much. So yes, we are supposed to install it into our Visual Studio Code. That's an extension. So that's what we're supposed to do. Mary, I hope that answers the question. Then and in life, I also hope I answered your question. Have I answered your question in any way? Okay. Mary said yes, I've answered her question. So Anim Life, on your Visual Studio Code, all you just have to do is go there and download GitHub pull requests. That's what you have to do. I hope that's clear. So let's continue with our discussion about GitHub. So you could break things down. I can see no. What what's the no about Anim Life? Let me know. The network. Okay, said you couldn't hear me, but how about now? Can you hear me now? Okay, I was talking about you going to your Visual Studio Code to download the GitHub pull requests. That's what I was actually talking about. So you just have to go to your GitHub, download your GitHub pull request. Then meanwhile we go back to the discussion about our GitHub itself. So let me talk about some of the benefits of using GitHub. So GitHub has a large community of developers, just like I was saying. Let's say you want to build a calendar website now, such that the calendar take notes of holidays, and you could also sync your activities, your to-do list to the calendar that has to do with also birthdays being able to remember the birthdays of those on your contacts. You want to use the calendar to do that, and you want to build something like that, you could go to your browser on the search box, type calendar websites, and then you could add GitHub to the site. And GitHub is going to show you lots of projects that has been done by developers, community of developers that have hosted their projects as public repo, open source, for you to now draw inspiration and build. Are you getting my point? So that's one good thing about GitHub. Then the other one is version control. GitHub version control system ensures that changes are tracked and can be reverted. So let me say somebody maliciously got hand to push some changes into your code base, infiltrated into your code base and pushed changes into it. You now, as a expert GitHub user, and the fact that GitHub has added the version control, you could revert those changes back. So that's one good thing about GitHub. So now, what's the next thing? The next one now is hold on a second. Alright, so let's continue with our discussion of GitHub. Sorry, I was trying to fix my network before. Oni was saying, is GitHub free and unlimited? Is GitHub free and unlimited storage like Google Drive? So GitHub has a way it operates. GitHub gives you an option to choose if you want your code to be a private repo, to be in a private repo, or you want a public repo. So those are the two things that GitHub offers. So as long as, if you are choosing a public repo, there is no space or size limit on it, and same applies for private repo also. So but the fact is, somehow to use some advanced features of private repo, you might have to make some subscriptions. So most people often stick to public repo. And one thing you have to know is, once your project is already on a public repo in GitHub, other people can get to see your projects. You can see what you've written, you can look through your codes and lots of stuff. So during your GitHub class, you will learn how to not include things like environmental variables into your code, because when people get to see what you've done on GitHub, they can see those environmental variables, and they might be secret keys to your database. There might be secret keys to your, some of those functionality that keeps your sites running. And if they get their hands on it, they could actually do bad stuff to your sites. So that's just one thing you have to know. So if you would want to use environmental variables like hidden variables, environment variables rather, you would want to do something, you would want to use a private repo, or you would want to, on the hosting platform, you would want to put the environment variables into the hosting platform, which is not, it won't be visible to others to actually see. So there are ways you could actually learn more about GitHub. So the first step is going to GitHub to create an account. So I want everyone to do this now. Go to your browser and type GitHub. I'll be sharing my own screen so that we can discuss from there. Hold on a second. So everybody should go to their browser because everyone is going to be creating a GitHub account today. That's the first step. Then we'll now see how to link our GitHub to our Visual Studio Code. Then we'll now look at how to clone a repo. So now everybody know what a repository is or a repo. These are actually your projects that get hosted on GitHub. They are called repos. I hope that's clear. So I'm sharing my screen now. Okay, Moses said he has already created an account. Alright, for others that have not created an account, and also for the informations I also want to share, I would be sharing my screen so that everybody could follow through. The one thing has to actually be creating the accounts, but the other stuff has to be some information I would like to share because GitHub or itself has an academy. You get that, or a learning platform where you could learn more about GitHub. There are basic GitHub commands that you could use, and there are things you also need to download. For you to be able to clone a repo, you would need to be downloading Git also. So I would also walk you through how to do that. So for now, let's just look at GitHub. So mine is just opening up. Should be able to see my screen now. Let me switch and check my chat box. It's common with me being able to share my chat box, check my chat box rather, and see what everyone's saying there. So I'm visiting the official GitHub site. As usual, it's going to. So look at how bad my network is. Okay, this is what GitHub Wikipedia has to say about GitHub. And the founders of GitHub are they are Chris Wanstrat, Scott Chacon, and Tom Preston Werner. You could go back to read about them. You could also read about their CEOs. When you're using something, you have to actually be informed about the stuff you are using. So you guys should hold on a second. Mine is still trying to load. I don't know why it's taking so much time. Meanwhile, while it's doing that, let's walk through the download of Git. We also download Git also. But before that, okay, I think this one is already loading up. So we'll just wait for it to finish up. I hope you guys can still hear me and you guys can see my screen. Alright, so my chat box is still has Moses response there. So we can hold on and see how it goes. So now, alright, so good. This is the GitHub homepage. This is what you should be seeing when you visit the GitHub site. And what we have there is just to build and ship software on a single collaborative platform. Join the world's most widely adopted AI-powered developers platform. And then you could see how to join, to sign up for GitHub. So on this part, you'll be typing in your email and sign up for GitHub. Then we'll talk about walking through the process. Meanwhile, let us look at some things here. So, with the era of AI now, everybody's trying to include AI into their whatever service they render. So, most of GitHub homepage has been edited to talk more about the AIs they offer. And then, to also automate any of your workflow. You could optimize your process with simple secure CI/CD. We'll talk about that also. You will see how that is being done. So these are all the features that you could see about GitHub. So let's look at um, okay. So these are the industries that are using GitHub. You could see by industries. You could see Figma uses GitHub, Mercedes-Benz uses GitHub, Mercado Libre uses GitHub. So, and it says millions of developers and businesses call GitHub home. Of course, GitHub is the home of everything. When you're on the job market, most thing they would ask you for is give us a link to your GitHub profile and also give us a link to your developers page. So those are the things they were going to ask you. So let's look at the bottom now. The bottom here. You could see this platform part. Under platform, that's the footer. You see a part that has education there. Good. You could go there and learn about GitHub. That's GitHub education. So you cover that greatly there, where you see everything that has to do with GitHub educations, how to use GitHub, and how to also apply some of these features that GitHub is actually offering. On my own ID, I use GitHub Copilot. So most times when I'm writing my code, sometimes I get hints from AI, kind of make me faster. You understand? So that's just one thing about the GitHub itself. So let's all walk through the process of sign up. So you guys should type in under the sign up option. You guys should type in your email and click on sign up. Then whatever response you get on the email, you guys should let me know and we will discuss that. I hope that's clear. Moses said you can't see my screen. I hope you all can all see my screen aside Moses. Let me know about that. Moses said you still can't see my screen. Yeah, I've actually stopped screen sharing just now. I was about dropping a link for you guys to download Git while you all are signing up. So everybody should start the sign up process. Everyone should start the sign up process. I don't want a situation where I'll be sharing seeing you guys share your password or email or so. Wisdom said, how do we download the VS Code? Alright, we'll talk about that. For now, let's just see how we could finish signing up for GitHub. And I'm also trying to see how I could store the class a little from us discussing what we are supposed to do today till the facilitator comes in. The second facilitator I was supposed to introduce. But if the second facilitator don't come in, we'll just do those basic stuff for today and we'll make amend for it for today in our next classes to come. So I just dropped the link for us to download the Git, because without Git you can't actually run GitHub properly on your Visual Studio Code. So everybody knows Git is a version control system that helps you manage different versions of your code within a repository. So you can install your Git for Windows, for Linux, and or Mac by downloading the latest version. So we are not actually Wisdom. We are not actually installing GitHub on VS Code. What we are installing is GitHub pull requests, and I will talk about how to use that in the meantime. So if you're talking about that, go to your extensions in your Visual Studio Code. There's by the side, by the left hand side, you see those icons. You see one that has Explorer, the other one has a search, the other one has okay, because I already had my, there's one that has source control. I don't know if you could see that. Then there's one that looks like a block. In there it has a name written extension. Then on the search bar type in GitHub pull requests. You see the extension and you download it. So have we been able to sign up for GitHub? We've been able to sign up. Let me have that on the chat box. Then for the GitHub education, let me send in the link for the GitHub education. Good. So this is the GitHub education. This is where you could learn everything that needs to be learned for GitHub education. Um, Wisdom just said something. Said it's not working on my system. What exactly is not working on your system? Let me know on the chat box. So that's the link for the GitHub education. Alright, Joshua just let me know he has created a GitHub account. He said done, account created. Sean, how about you? Have you been able to create a GitHub account? Wisdom, how about you? Anim Life, how about you? Mary, have you been able to do that also? Let me know on the chat box. Meanwhile, Joshua, since you're done with that, the next thing you should be doing is installing Git on your PC. So if you are using a Windows PC, you could actually use the link. So that's the next thing I want to see you do. Installing Git on your PC. So let me drop the link again. Okay, Sean said he has an account there already. Alright. OS is yet to give a response. Mary, how about you? Have you been able to create an account on GitHub? Wisdom, the question I was asking you what was not working on your system. Is the Visual Studio Code not working on your system or the GitHub pool? Alright, someone was asking me. Oni said, can I drop the link on the WhatsApp platform for easy copy? Alright, let me do that on the WhatsApp platform now so everybody can all use it together. Alright, I hope you guys have seen the link on the WhatsApp group. If you've not seen the link, please let me know on the chat box so that uh, I'll resend. Okay, Prince said, likewise, me too, I have an account on GitHub already. Then I hope you also have Git installed already also. I'm trying to look out for, I'm just checking out if I've not sent to the wrong group. Uh, Let me try and send it to the right group. For the Gits, for easy download, let's download from this site. This site is https www.techsports.com/. Please, if you guys should see anybody that join and his name has to start with Peter, you guys, Mr. Peter, you guys should let me know so that I can quickly introduce him. Because right now I'm just so busy trying to make sure everybody has the Git and GitHub. I can see some people are light years ahead of others, while some are not. I can see Deborah just joined just now, and Deborah, yeah, I'm sending the link now, so you'll be able to download the Git. You can download it now, but make sure you've already signed up for your GitHub already. Have you? Yeah, okay, yeah. Mary says she has created an account already, so the link is already on the group chat. You guys should download the Git from there and give me a response immediately you've done that. Then for those that have downloaded, Deborah, I would like you should drop a comment or so and tell me um, how far you've been with the class. What are your concerns and so? Because I can see you just came in and stepped in and stepped out. So let's see. Somebody said, is this for the GitHub? No, it's to download the Git. Okay, you could see Joshua already sent in the Git itself, so you don't have to use the link again. Joshua, well done. Thank you for that. So I see this is a version 2.49.0. So the 2 is the major there. Then the 49 there is those are the features that has been added, and so that's how the versioning actually works. So as your version improves, the number changes itself, and that's how those your app you see on the App Store, that's how they actually go to. So everybody should just download what Joshua sent in on the group chat, because what I actually sent in, the link I sent in here is actually version 2.49 too also. So let's go download that. So Deborah, let me check the chat box if you've dropped any question or concern. No question or concern. Then Moses, what's your status now? Have you been able to download Git? Do you have Git already? Let me know your status. Then Mary, what's your status? Have you started downloading? No, you're not downloading it on the Visual Studio Code. You just download it from your WhatsApp, then go to where you downloaded it from on your PC. Send it to your PC, then you are going to double click on it, and it's going to walk you through steps of installations. So those steps, you could ask questions on them. Okay, Anim Life said he's done. Are you? So let me know. Let me be clear on the part you're done with. Are you done downloading the Git or creating an account? Let's be clear on the part you're done with. All right, okay. You've installed the the GitHub pull request. All right, go ahead for downloading the Git itself. Maybe you can head for it. Then, Anim said is done with creating an account. Please make sure you remember your password. You write down your password. Then also try to turn up for two-factor authentication, whereby you might use the authenticator app or have to scan some things in order to do that. Okay. Let's wait for downloading the Git now. Joshua already sent it on the WhatsApp group. Yes, exactly. Yeah, it was one sent on the WhatsApp group, maybe. So download that. Alright, so I'll be switching to my laptop so that I could be on the same tab with you all. So you guys should hold on a second. Yes, you could go to the link. This time around, don't go to the link on your phone. Go to the link on your with your PC. Don't go to it with your phone. You actually need it downloaded on your PC. Okay, Sheon said he's done installing Git. That's great. Sheon is done installing Git. That's great. That's great. I'll soon be sharing my screen shortly with my laptop. All right, guys, I've been able to switch to my PC. So let me share my screen and let's all get started. For those of us that have been able to install Git, let me know. If you're able to install Git, you could share your screen with us and let us continue. All right, so I'm already sharing my screen. Let me look at the chat box. Yes, only it's okay. You're having an existing Git version of 2.42 and it's 64 bits. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay for the class. Very okay. So let me share my. Okay, I'm already sharing my screen. So for those using the GitHub that have downloaded the GitHub extension, there should be at this point here. You should see somewhere that has account. Look at this icon. Somewhere that has account. Then you see an option for you to sign in. You can see me. I'm currently signed in into my own GitHub. This is my GitHub account. You can see. So you do that on your own. Then it's going to prompt you to sign in. So let's all do that together. For those of you that have not linked your GitHub to your VS Code, this is what you should do. So once you sign in, you'll be able to use this GitHub pull request you downloaded, and you could see the version control itself, the
Sorry,
source
sir. Please,
control rather.
please come again, sir.
So let
Sorry
me
to
look at the chat box.
how to sign in.
Okay. Look at this icon. Sorry, look at this icon that looks like a profile. It's accounts. Click on it. Then at this point, at this part here, you could see me. I'm actually signed in. So for those of you that are not signed in, you would see something different. An option for you to sign in. Then click on it and sign in. So everybody should do that now. Maybe have you been able to download the Git? If you've been able to download the Git, you could share your screen so that I would walk you through the installation process. Then Moses, you can now follow what we are doing now. Then only you could follow. Prince, if you've not done that on your VS Code, you could do that. Joshua, you could also do that on your VS Code also. We're actually doing this part of the class due to the fact that we are expecting the second facilitator. But so far, the class has been on and I've not spotted the second facilitator. So I will just continue with this. Okay, Joshua said it's done, and it seems Mary is using her phone. Mary, are you still using your phone? Let me know on the chat box if you're still using your
Yes, I'm
phone.
using my phone.
You're not using your
Fine.
phone and you're using your
I'm
PC.
using my phone, but I'm using the PC for
Okay,
the so
then
that to download it.
are you okay? Have you been able to download so far with your PC? Let me know about that.
Yes. I've been able to download it, but I've not installed it.
All right. Anim like said yes, it took me to the website. Now go to the website, you have to sign in. And when you have done signing in, it's going to link you back to um VS Code. And on this part now, you will see your account. That's your username you used for signing up on GitHub. You will see it here. Then you will know you signed in on GitHub. And the next thing we'll do is we'll come to the GitHub extension, the GitHub pull request, and see whatever you guys are seeing there. You let me know. Then I'll walk you through the process of doing that. Okay, Oni is done signing in. So Wisdom said his own is still installing. All right, let's know when you are done installing. Then where's Moses? Moses, have you been able to do your own? Okay, have you signed in? Then when you signed in, are you seeing yours like mine? Are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing now? Are you seeing this? Are you seeing your username, your GitHub username here? You can see how I did mine. Let me know about checking the chat box now. Just said done. How about, are you seeing yours the way mine is showing? Okay. Moses said his network is bad and is unable to download the gits. All right. Wisdom said my VS Code is not showing what I'm seeing on your screen. So Wisdom, are you using your PC for the meeting or you are using your phone? If you are using your PC for the meeting, I would love you share your screen so we'll see what your own screen is showing. Let me know on the chat box. All right, so I'll stop presenting so that you will share your screen. I hope you know how to share your screen. It's this icon here. That's what you click on and you share your screen. So share your screen and let me see what we are seeing, and I'll guide you through how to do it. All right, Shane, that's good to hear. It's now showing your GitHub username. Wonderful. So Wisdom, I've just stopped sharing my screen. I'll be waiting for you to share your screen so that we could all move in. Then Prince, I hope you've been able to follow through all the steps also. Let me know in the chat box. So Wisdom, once I mute my mic, you start sharing your screen. Yeah, Wisdom, I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me, Wisdom? And Moses, I hope you're taking down the step or the process. So once your network comes back, you'll be able to do what we're doing. Okay, Anim Life said yes, he has done his also. Okay, Prince said he's following you, but he doesn't have light to power his system at the moment. All right, so just follow through, watch what we're doing so that when we start, once you've gotten your PC, you'll be able to do what we are doing. So how about Wisdom? Wisdom, can you hear me now?
Sir, hello? Hello? I don't know if you can hear me. I'm using
I
my
think
phone.
Wisdom just left the meeting because I can't spot Wisdom on the meeting anymore. All right, so let us continue. Sheung, starting from you now, I want you to share your screen so that the instructions, as I'm giving out the instructions, everyone will be able to see it and also practice how to do that. Okay, Wisdom is back.
I'm trying. It's not
I could see
show
Wisdom is
my,
back.
but I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, that's it. Sorry,
You
sir.
said
I'm trying
something
to
just
share my
now.
screen. Just a moment. You can
Okay,
no, you
okay,
can
okay, that
continue,
would be
sir. Let
great.
me try
No, I would wait
and
on
share
you.
the
Would
screen.
wait on you.
Hello,
All right, let's just
sir.
wait on you.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. Mm. Okay, sir. He's saying I should share the. Can you can you see it, sir? Yes, sir. Sir, can you hear me?
No, I'm not seeing from this side. I can't see your screen yet.
Yes, sir.
Wisdom, you were saying something. And Temitope said, can I share my screen now for the installation? Wisdom, let me hear what you were saying. How about you on mute and speak again? Oni is letting you know your screen is not showing yet. Cannot you see your screen? Why Temitope is also letting me know that he's not in with his PC. And can he share his screen now for the installation? Uh, okay, Mary. Okay, Mary. All right, Mary, share your screen. Share your screen with us, so I could walk you through the installation process. Since you've downloaded the Git, right? You downloaded the Git, then
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
share your screen. Yeah, I can. I
Let him
can. Wisdom.
let us share hers first. Let us share hers
All
first. I'm
right, all right.
still.
That's fine. All right. Um. All right.
I
That's not
can.
a
I,
problem.
can you
Mary, you can now share your screen. Mary.
hear you, sir? Yes, sir. Sir, it's showing if I should share the entire screen or the window. I'm clicking on share, but it's not.
Okay, you have to wisdom. You have to actually click on the entire screen. So hold on a second while Temitope share her screen with us. Hold on a second, wisdom. Temitope, you are sharing your screen just now. All right, I can see your screen now, Temitope. Now lead us to the
Okay,
installation
sir. Can you
process.
can you see the screen? All right. So this is this is okay. So I'm sharing my screen already, sir.
Okay. I think my
Hello,
network is
sir.
lagging. Wisdom, you can continue. Oh, my network.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Hello. Good afternoon, sir. I'm trying to share the screen so that I can install the
Okay,
good
okay, Temitope, sorry for that. Sorry about that.
screen.
All right, lead us to the installation process.
Okay. So this is it. Can you hear me? This is the Git.
Yeah, I can
Hello.
hear you, Temitope.
uh, This is the Git. I'm trying to click on it so that it will take me to the installation process. Can you see it?
Okay, yeah. Let us
Should I
see.
click? Should I
No,
click yes?
I cannot yet see the installation process. I could actually,
Did you see yes?
yeah, click on it. Let me see. What I'm
Yes.
seeing is still the GitHub.
Ah. Can you see
Uh,
yes now? Hello, sir.
no, I can still see I can still see your Google Meet. That's what I'm seeing at the moment.
Oh,
It's your Google Meet and the chat what you're typing. I think my network is like 2 minutes behind. Oh my god. Anim Life said he can see it. Okay, read it out for me. That's just what you have to do. Just read it out and I could just tell you what to click. Okay, she was about opening the file. All right. Temitope, you can open the file now. Um, you could read it out also for me, Temitope, why my screen is reloading.
okay. Can you hear me, sir? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, Temitope.
So I've opened the file and it's saying, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Yes or no?
Yeah, it's a yes. You're making a yes choice there.
Yes.
So what's the next prompt?
Okay, now it's brought out some information about the file. I should read it before I continue. So I should click next, right?
Okay,
Hello?
that's the yes, that's the user agreement also. You are meant
Yeah.
to read the user agreement and show exactly. So
So
it's preferable you somehow save it somewhere so at your spare or free time you could actually read it. Somebody's hands is up. Whose hand is that? You could unmute and let me have your question. Meanwhile, Mary, click on next.
okay. So now it's saying select destination where should Git be installed. Though the PC has given an option. So should I just click next or I should look for other place I can install it?
For now, let me see. If it was me, I would be folder specific. Like I like my stores being organized. But I think when you get to the level whereby you would like your PC being properly organized, you could actually work on that. So for now, you could just choose the the folder or the part that the PC has given to you already.
Okay.
So just click on it.
Oh, understand. Okay. Okay. Fine, fine.
What's the next prompt there, Mary? Read it out
The
for
next
me.
one is select the component you want to
So I
install.
hope Moses. All right, hold on a minute. I hope Moses is and those that have not installed are actually seeing what Mary is doing. So you could also do it on your own end. So list out the component out there for me so you could click on the checkbox. So list them out.
Okay.
Let me see.
Additional icons. Uh, additional icons
Okay. Then the
on.
next one is what?
Should I click on them? Okay, okay, okay. The one that's been clicked on, we have Windows Explorer integration. We have Open Git Bash here. Open Git GUI here. Git LFS. Okay, we have associate Git
Yes, it's
as
called Git lash file.
support.
Yeah, continue. Those ones that have not been clicked on, you
Okay.
might just read them out for me. So let me see if you are to click on them.
We have additional icons. We have on the desktop. Those ones not clicked on. I'm following them now. We have check daily for Git for Windows update. We have new add a Git bash profile to Windows terminal. That's all. Hello?
All right, so on the desktop, you might want an additional icon on the desktop, so you could click on it. Then I think it's also necessary you check out for um
Check
updates.
daily
You
for
get,
update.
so you could also,
Okay, what about
yeah, you could check that. Click on that.
add a Git bash profile to Windows? How about that? Should I click on that as well?
Um, add a Git patch profile to Windows Terminal. No, just click on next. Let's continue with that. But I think the icon is okay. Click on next.
Okay, so it's telling me if I would like where should setup place the program shortcuts. Well, to continue like if you would like to select a different program.
I didn't hear you well.
Okay, it's trying to tell me that the setup, where should I put it? The shortcuts. Should I just click
Where
next?
should you
Where should setup place the program short?
uh
No, I can't even see.
yeah, click on next. Click on next. I can't hear you well, but I think next is the next thing, as long as there's no option for you to select again. Click on next. Meanwhile, my
Okay,
screen is like 2 minutes
the
late. I don't know why it's behaving that way.
the next thing now is choosing the default editor used by group. So which editor would you like you to use? Is there a specific one? Or should I just click
Well, let
on
me
next?
see. Read out the editors you could see there.
The Vim editor. Use Vim. I'm suggesting that I use
Okay, there's a
Vim.
Vim editor. Then what's the next one out there?
There is Notepad. Notepad and put
Uh,
editor. Then we have use Visual Studio Code.
no, use the Vim. Uh, I
Ah,
at some point I do use the Visual Studio Code editor.
should I
I
go
do
back?
use the Visual Studio Code editor.
Okay.
Uh, no, use Vim. I don't want your Git to be how would I put it? I don't want it to be um on an ID dependent, because you might want to use another ID somehow one day or the other. So just use the usual Vim that's there and
Okay, the
click on
next thing is
next.
adjusting the name of the initial branch in new repository. What would you like you to name the initial branch after
All
Git?
right, yes, there was a time when yeah, there was a time when it was main and there was another type of branch. So just use the default one that Git already have there. You don't need to rename. You
Okay.
get, with time, whenever you create any GitHub repo, it automatically changes it for you. So just click on next.
Okay, the next one is adjusting your cloud environment. How would you like to use Git from the command line? That's choosing a recommended one. Should I
Uh,
click on next or should I read out the next recommended one for you?
Yeah, just click on next. Click on next.
So this other one,
So
which
what's the next option there?
which secure shell client program would you like Git to use? We have use bomb bundled open SSH, and then we have read
I can't.
SSH. Hmm. Hello, sir, can you hear me?
Is that the secure share? Just click on next. Click on next, Mary.
Okay, that is
Just let's follow the default that's there. Click on next. Then what's the next option you're seeing there?
there's a
Okay, I
different.
think I can now follow up with your screen.
Okay. So should I click on that?
Yeah, just click on next. Then what's the next thing there?
How should Git utilize on content and text file? Click on that.
Mary, can you be a little
Is it that?
can you increase your
Okay.
speech volume a little so I could hear you well? You said how should what?
How should Git treat line endings in text files? Hello?
Okay,
Hello,
it
sir.
should just let it just follow the default because I know line breaks like slash r and slash m are different for different um how would I
So
put it, for different computers. Although I think Git automatically help you fix that, or your VS Code automatically helps you fix that also. Just click on next.
okay, so this other one. So which terminal emulator do you want to use with your Git bash? Next, use Windows default
You
console
said Git
window.
stamina or what?
Yes, emulator. Should I use?
Let's use the default Windows use the default Windows terminal itself. It's not every time you want to work on Git, you would have to open the Git terminal.
Okay, so are you telling me to choose the second option?
So is there any other question? The second option is
Yes,
the Windows, right?
yes.
Yeah, use the second option. That one is
So
preferred.
the next question is, what should Git pull do by default? Hello?
All right, so what are you seeing there?
What should Git pull do by default?
Is there an
Fast
option
forward or
to auto
reverse?
sync also?
Yes, there's no auto, so there is fast forward or manual.
Mary, just to hold on to the first option.
I can't hear
First
you
option is
anymore.
okay.
Okay, all right. First option. So the next one is which credential helper should be configured? First option, Abi, or none? Hello? Oh, I can't hear you. Okay, first option. Ah, so the last one is which features would you like to enable? Enable file system caching, or enable symbolic link. First option. Hello? Oh, how is this so difficult? Oh. Mm.
So what's the next
It's already installed. Your net is
question
breaking.
now?
Already installed, so it's already installed on the PC. I don't know if you can hear me, but your network is breaking. Can I stop sharing the screen now? Mm.
I didn't hear you well, Mary.
I said your network is breaking, is already installing. Can I unshare the screen? Hello? I'll be sending a text instead.
Little.
I'm done. I'll be clicking finish now. Mhm.
to apologize to those of you that were actually watching this process and you've actually done the process yourself. Sorry about that, but we don't, everybody have to be on the same page. If everybody is not on the same page, then we are not properly passing out the information. So, Wisdom, I want to see you share your screen. After I'm done with Wisdom, attendance link will be shared and we'll come to the end of the class. The facilitator didn't come in, just like I was informed. So, nonetheless, we actually did something very meaningful today, and I'll try to make up for the rest of the class. Joshua, I have your concern screenshotted already. All of you that sent in your concern, I already have them screenshotted and I've written them down. So we would now attend to that in our next class. So Wisdom, please share your screen immediately so that I can finish up. Okay. Moses said he has installed and he has shared the screen. Why Wisdom? Your voice is not yet audible. Are you sharing your screen already? Oh.
Yes, sir. Can you see, sir? Sir, can you see it? Yes, sir.
Yes, I can now see your screen. Can see your screen
So,
now.
sir, I don't like. I don't know how to
So
get started, sir.
hold on a second. It went black again.
Okay, sir.
All right. Have you downloaded the Git? Have you downloaded the Git?
Yes, I sent something to you on WhatsApp, on the platform. So I wanted to know the one I'm to download. There's one that we have Git, GUI and CMD,
All right.
VA. Yes, sir.
Let me respond to that.
All right, sir.
Let me see what you say.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Wisdom, you just stopped screen sharing. How about you? Oh, network has kicked him out.
No. Can you see my screen now? Yeah, I just wanted to share the whole
Yes, I
screen.
can
I
see your
want.
screen now. Meanwhile,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
loading.
All right, sir. I'm waiting, sir.
All right, it's Git batch. That's what you'll be
Okay.
downloading. Git batch.
Is it the number? Is it? Okay. All right, sir. All right, sir. Let
That's the
me do
number.
that. Number 3. All right,
Yeah,
sir. Let me do
exactly.
that. Okay, I'm coming.
Yeah, that's true, Oni. We are having a lot of unfinished tasks, and I think the resolution I'm taking for our next class is trying as much as possible one thing I did was trying to make sure everybody's following on the same page. So once we're done with this now, we would now tackle everything accordingly. There will no longer be any unfinished tasks. So right now is making sure everybody's following. So Oni, um,
So, sir, I've downloaded it.
Adibin, we didn't do this process now. We won't know a lot of people don't know what is actually going on. Some people are just joining and they don't know what's going on. So I just want to make sure everybody is following. everybody is on the same page. I know it's actually affecting most of you that are actually consistent and punctual, but let's just make sure everybody's also getting the same knowledge that you guys are also getting. So I apologize for that, but be rest assured there won't be any more unfinished tasks.
All right, sir. Can you see what is bringing, sir? Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Out to you on WhatsApp and walk you through your own installation process. Is that okay with you?
Sir, I'm not hearing what you are saying.
All right, so Wisdom, I hope you got what I said. I'll personally reach out to you on WhatsApp um, and see how
All right, sir.
we could do this together so I don't delay the rest of us that are
Uh,
already done with the
okay, sir.
meeting.
Thank you, sir.
So once again, I want
Okay, thank
to,
you.
yeah, you're welcome. Once again, I want to list out the issues some of us pointed out. Then also
Can
reassure
I
you
stop
guys
sharing,
that
sir?
before the end of the week, yeah, you can stop sharing.
All right.
So
All right, sir.
Moses said we haven't finished the project we're working on. This was one of the issues Moses listed out. Then we also talked about how to use GitHub to get those projects, which was what we did. Then Shion talked about how his styling was not working out and how we could actually fix that. Why Joshua also talked about some of the projects we've not worked on and how we could finish that. So, and why Oni said we are having lots of unfinished projects, which we also need to finish. So, that will be all for now, and be rest assured before the end of the week, we are all done with that. Meanwhile, thank you everyone for joining the meeting today. Mercy and Deborah didn't actually, yes, Joshua talked about the flex and grid properties. So we'll also do that. So thank you all for joining today. It wasn't supposed to mean that I supposed to anchor the class today, but I did actually anchor the class today. So thank you everyone, and at the end of the class, at the end of the week, we will all be on the same page. All right, so that's how we come to the end of the class today. I hope you all have all signed your attendance. See you tomorrow. And tomorrow, now everybody is now almost on the same page. We won't be having the issues of carrying everyone along. So, thank you all for now and bye for now. Bye, everyone. Yeah.